Michael Kanan will kick off to rookie Emmanuel Sanders. Third-round pick out of SMU. And this crowd is revved up, all dressed in black and gold, and a low kick starts this game. Sanders from the 2. And he brings it out past the 25-yard line. And our first look at Dennis Dixon, who is starting only his second NFL game, but first here in Pittsburgh, and kind of got it by default. There are the backs and receivers. Mike Wallace, the second-year wide receiver, replacing Santonio Holmes, who's now with the Jets. And the offensive line, a rookie, Marquise Pouncey, starts at center. Flozell Adams, the former Cowboy, in at right tackle for Willie Colon. First down from the 26, and the handoff to Rashard Mendenhall, and he bangs his way out to the 30-yard line and a gain of 4. Eric Coleman making the tackle. Let's take a look at the revamped Atlanta defense, and they have 5 new starters. John Abraham is the veteran, and Trey Lewis is starting for Jonathan Babineau, who's been suspended for a game. Rookie Sean Weatherspoon gets a start at outside linebacker, and the big change, Dante Robinson, former Houston Texan, acquired at cornerback. Second down and 6 with 2 tight ends. Heath Miller lining up in the backfield, and it'll be play action. And the pass to Heath Miller, and the tight end close to the first down. And Sean Weatherspoon, the rookie from Missouri, making the tackle, and right near the first down margin.
First 2 plays of the game, you saw Pittsburgh come out and go heavy sets right away. Ran the ball the first time, faked it now, and get it out to their Pro Bowl tight end Heath Miller, matched up against the rookie linebacker Sean Weatherspoon. A nice look right out of the gate for the Steelers.
And that's what they want to do. Get Dennis Dixon on the move, push in the pocket.
And that's what they've done. Third down and 1, and Isaac Redmond, who is their outstanding short yardage back, gets the call, and Redmond fights his way for a first down out to the 37. Gain of 3, and the Steelers move the chains.
Big physical offensive line for Pittsburgh, just moving the sticks, getting out, and good running there by Redmond. Power football.
And did you hear the roar from the crowd? They love that type of Steeler football, appreciative right out of the gate with a Pittsburgh Steeler team that says they want to run the ball more effectively this year, maybe not necessarily more.
And there is Pouncey, the rookie center. Steelers have had great centers over the years, haven't they? Dixon with a quick to Hines Ward. And Ward, with his first catch of the year, gets about 8.5 yards. And the Steelers, not far from midfield, get 9 yards with Croy Bierman making the tackle.
How about the movement of Heath Miller here? The tight end coming across. You'll see him right there, 83, as he gets across field now. Now he throws a kick-out block on Brent Grimes to create the alley for the wide receiver to get upfield immediately and gain good yardage.
And the first 2 throws, Dennis Dixon, easy throws to complete, get him in a rhythm.
And get his confidence going. Second down and 1. And they go to Redmond again, and Redmond will get the first down at the 49-yard line. So conservative play calling by Bruce Arians, and the Steelers have picked up 2 first downs right at midfield. Mike Tomlin trying to get his team back from a 500 year after the Super Bowl championship 2 years ago. And a great job by Mike Smith, who has led the Falcons to back-to-back winning years for the first time in their franchise history. Antoine Randall L is in as a 3rd wide receiver, and he goes in motion, and he does not get the ball. It's a fake, and they go to Mendenhall on the opposite side, and Rashard Mendenhall picks up 9 yards.
So Dixon's first 3 throws, we see a bootleg moving out of the pocket, then we see a quick screen, and then they come back with a screen to a running back. So Bruce Arians doing a nice job early in this game of trying to build the confidence of his young quarterback by giving him easy passes to complete.
Bruce Arians, and of course, we heard a lot during the offseason of the Steelers' need to go back to the running game.
And we've seen evidence of that early. They just come right out and mash them. Atlanta, a lighter, quicker defensive line. They want to stem and stunt. They've gone right at them early in the run game.
2nd down and 1. They go to Mendenhall. 2nd effort and a 1st down just at the 40-yard line. Weatherspoon making the tackle again, a gain of 2. And this is what the fans would say would be Steeler football.
Yeah, this is Steeler football. It's nothing fancy. We haven't seen any big breakout runs, but they're going right into the teeth of the Falcons defense. And Mike Tomlin told us on Friday, he says, you know what? This is a smaller, quicker defensive line. We got to pound them a little bit.
Mendenhall with a big year last year, and they expect more of him this time. 1st down on the 40 of Atlanta.
Here comes pressure.
They give it to Mendenhall, and that's not a bad play against pressure. Thomas Deku making the tackle. Could have been more, but the Steelers will be happy with 5 yards on 1st down.
And do you see how big open field tackling is? Watch this play early. Watch Deku, number 28, coming into your screen. If he doesn't make this one-on-one open field tackle, look at the space Mendenhall still has to roam with a blocker downfield.
Mendenhall goes out and Mewelde Moore comes in. It'll be a 1st down on the 35 of the Falcons. 2nd down and 5. 2nd down and 5, and the pass bobbled by Mewelde Moore out of the backfield.
This sets up their first 3rd and pressure situation. So let's see how the Falcons attack Pittsburgh here in this 3rd and 6 situation.
It's been interesting. Bruce Arians has done just about everything out of at least a 2 tight end set to start this ball game, disguising intentions with both tight ends looking heavy and still throwing the ball. On this one, looks like he's got the wide receivers on the field now. He
does. Charles 4 with Randall L. Sanders along with Ward and Wallace. And out of the shotgun on 3rd and 6. Taking off, and he's going to be stopped about 4 yards shy of the 1st down by Curtis Lofton. And that's the running quarterback, and you know a lot about that because of the Michael Vick years with you.
Yeah, outstanding. That's a coverage sack right there. That's an outstanding job. They rush 3, they drop 8 into coverage, and when you're playing against a quarterback that can scramble, that can win with his legs, you've got to keep eyes on him. So when he does break the contain, you can go get him. And then you need to get your quarterback down so he doesn't absorb those kinds of hits.
A 52-yard field goal try coming up for Jeff Reed. Sepulveda is the holder. And Reed's kick is good. Jeff Reed with a 52-yard field goal, 1 shy of his career mark, giving the Steelers an early 3-0 lead. And the confluence of the 3 rivers here in Pittsburgh, 3-0, and now maybe Dennis Dixon can exhale after that first drive.
Yeah, great start for that young man right there. 4 for 4 throwing the ball, all easy throws, made good decisions, protected the ball well. That's why he's smiling.
And a 7-minute drive to get points on the board. Jeff Reed, who provided those points, kicking off Jarius Norwood from the 4, returning for the Falcons. And he brings it out to the 25-yard line where Jason Worlds makes the tackle. Mike Tomlin, very easygoing coach. He's been the winner. We'll be right back. And we're back in Pittsburgh with the Steelers leading 3-0. And the Falcons' first offensive possession beginning from the 25.
Well, let's look for a throw to Tony Gonzalez here.
Get that 1,000 out of the way. Here's Matt Ryan. And Ryan going outside. And a flag goes down. And Gonzalez was interfered with by Lamar Woodley, the linebacker.
There's one weakness in the Pro Bowl players' game is pass coverage. Lamar Woodley.
Interference, defense, number 56. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
He doesn't catch the ball yet, but they get the first down.
And it's not that Lamar Woodley can't cover. It's just the confidence level isn't as high as when he's rushing the passer. He was in good position, just fired a little bit too early and got a piece of Gonzalez.
So a first down on the 30. And there's the pass and the catch by Roddy White. And Roddy White with a 4-yard pickup. And Matt Ryan, who had a great rookie year, fell off a little, but he's a good one. And there is his lineup. Harry Douglas is starting for Michael Jenkins, who has a shoulder injury and is out of action. And the offensive line intact. Todd McClure starting his 129th consecutive game, and that is a Falcon record.
Heavy run set right here.
Second down, and there's Michael Turner. And Turner gets his way past the 30 to the 31-yard line. 36 with 2-yard gain, and Timmons making the tackle. Take a look at the Steelers defense. Aaron Smith missed 11 games last year, so the Steelers have him back at defensive end. Great linebacking core. And in the secondary, Jim mentioned it, Troy Polamalu is back, and Brian McFadden, after a year in Arizona, returns as well at right corner. Third down and 4. Ryan with the short drop and through the hands of Roddy White, incomplete. Fourth down, and the Falcons will kick.
Jim, how'd you like the defensive set there? Well, all of a sudden everyone's muddling around, no one with their hands on the ground. Where are they coming from?
I'll tell you what, that creates tremendous confusion for your offensive line and your quarterback trying to figure out your pickups and protection. And it's a game of inches. You saw that ball slide right off of White's hands there. And I'll tell you what, in this game, you've got to make those plays.
Antoine Randall L. returning to Pittsburgh after a stint with the Redskins, and Michael Kanan will punt. And good hang time here, and a fair catch called for by Randall L. And the Steelers will go to work again. There's a penalty flag now, upfield at about the 40.
Holding receiving team during the kick. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
So that will send the Steelers back to inside the 20-yard line. Dennis Dixon will go out again after leading the Steelers to the 3-0 lead. Fox Sports is first to bring all fans the ultimate NFL viewing experience, an HD experience, even if you don't have an HD set with widescreen. Viewers watching in standard definition are seeing small black strips at the top and bottom of your screen. Well, that's good. You're actually seeing more of the field than ever before, and the same perspective as your friends with HD without lifting a finger. So sit back and enjoy the game and your better view of the action. First down on the 32. Michael Turner. And there is Turner, who was out 5 of the last 7 games last year, picks up 3.
And you notice Atlanta wants to get the ball to Michael Turner. All right, they came out the first series, essentially a 3-and-out if you take away the penalty, trying to get Tony Gonzalez's catch. Didn't get much done, but they have to win the early downs. They've got to win on first down. They've got to win on second down. Great third and short. They're hoping Michael Turner's running will give them that ability.
Second down and 7 from the 35. Ryan getting some pressure, and his pass way overthrown. Tony Gonzalez was the intended receiver, and they still haven't gotten it to Gonzalez for his 1,000th NFL reception.
Watch the pressure on Matt Ryan. And Jim, you'll love this as a defensive guy. Troy Polamalu, see, made him hop, step, and reset. And I think that hurt his accuracy on the throw. Now he's high and away.
What bothers me there, though, is that they max protected, which means they kept 8 guys in, and still he felt pressure.
It's the hair. You can't keep the hair out when he's ready to roll.
Third and 7, and Snelling and Norwood are in, and here comes the pressure on Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan, down he goes, back at the 25. Couldn't get away from Lamar Woodley, who was 3rd in the league in sacks last year with 13.5, a loss of 10. This crowd going wild.
Back-to-back pressures up the gut. And watch what happens in here to number 73, Harvey Dahl. He gets blown right back into the face of Matt Ryan. No chance to complete a pass that way.
Look at the power. Look at the power that Woodley exhibits there.
Michael Kanan will kick from the 10, and Antoine Randall L. looking to give the Steelers good field position. Both of these kickers getting great hang time on their punts. Randall L. from the 21, nowhere to go, and he's down at the 28. And great reaction by the Steelers defense.
And here's the book that Matt Ryan is looking at with his quarterback coach Bill Musgrave right there. And what he's trying to figure out is who's coming and who's dropping when he sees those exotic looks up front. The other thing they're trying to do is figure out coverage on the back end. Looks to me early here like Ryan's trying to force the ball to Gonzalez.
Steelers with a first down on the 28. Dixon 4 of 5 for 22 yards early on. And a whistle. False start penalty against the Steelers.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the second tight end, Matt Spaeth.
You know, and what you're seeing out of the Steelers early here is a lot of movement out of their tight ends, and sometimes that's going to happen.
Now it's 1st and 15. Ball back at the 23. Here's Mendenhall picking his way up the middle, picks up about 3 yards with Mike Peterson greeting him.
You notice with a young quarterback, 1st and 15 backed up does not necessarily mean the ball's in the air for the Pittsburgh offense. And one of the things Pittsburgh did as a team was take a look at a game film of Tennessee and Jacksonville when Vince Young was a rookie, because they wanted to see how Mike Smith, who was running the Jacksonville defense at the time, planned for Vince Young, who they equate to Dennis Dixon. And boy, they had a lot of success that day. They're hoping that it doesn't happen to them today.
Second down and 12. Under 3 minutes to go. And here's Mendenhall. And Mendenhall gets to the 30. And for a game break, let's check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, if the Steelers want Dennis Dixon to look like Vince Young, here's a little tape they can study. Young, 56 yards to the former Steeler, Nate Washington. And Tennessee is on top of Oakland early, 7-3. Dick, Charles, and Jim.
How about that one?
And not bad. Now that's the Dennis Dixon, you know, that they want to see. All right, they want to see that Vince Young, not the Vince Young when he was a rookie, playing that Jacksonville defense when he was sacked 5 times in that game.
You covered him with Texas in the BCS championship game. 3rd down and 8.
Here comes pressure again.
And there is the pass. And it's intended for Mike Wallace. Incomplete. It would have been a first down. And 4th down coming up, and the Falcons hold the Steelers.
Jim, what comes to mind to me on this throw is what Hines Ward told us when we talked to him, what he said to Dennis Dixon all week. Dennis, you have plenty of arm. Just throw the football. Don't try and be too perfect.
You know what? Young quarterbacks sometimes try to place the football. They try to aim the football. You know what, Dennis? Just let it fly. He's got a big arm. He's an accurate. He was an accurate passer at Oregon. He's been an accurate passer in the NFL in preseason games. Let it go.
And Sepulveda lets it go off of his left foot, and Eric Weems back at the 24 has some room, and Weems gets it out close to the 40-yard line. And so the Falcons, in a defensive heralded first quarter, 3-0 in favor of the Steelers, will get the ball. The second game of our Fox doubleheader. How about the Packers and the Eagles, guys?
Is that going to be fun to watch now?
Can't wait to see what Kevin Kolb does now that he is the man in Philadelphia.
Okay. Kevin Kolb, and you got a lot of people think that Aaron Rodgers may be the up-and-coming quarterback in the conference.
Hey, when you're talking about elite quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers is in that conversation now. No doubt about it.
Along with the guy we're watching here today, number 2.
Yes.
First down at the 38 for the Falcons. And this pass intended for Roddy White. And the Steelers are yelling for offensive pass interference. Ike Taylor was defending on the play.
Well, as a former DB coach and D coordinator, I know you had to like that coverage.
Well, I love Ike Taylor.
Did you see how he pinned him to the sideline and gave nowhere to go?
Picture perfect. We got to get out here. Look, the Falcons are going to their no huddle.
And that means the umpire has to quickly get back in a hurry. And it's an audible as well on 2nd and 10. Ryan's pass, and Roddy White making the catch shy of midfield, close to the first down, covered by Ike Taylor. And that was a good reception by Roddy White, who's had 3 outstanding years in a row.
You know, Matt Ryan, the calmness of him, all right, that crowd, the crowd started to get into it. They went no huddle to keep the defense static so they couldn't get a substitution in, and he found his #1 receiver isolated and hit him.
And he comes right back to him after great coverage on the play before by Taylor.
10-yard pickup. Eric Weems checks in as a wide out. First down on the Falcon 48. Keep it on the ground to Michael Turner. And Turner, great second effort, gets into Steeler territory, the 48-yard line, getting 4 yards.
You know, the first 2 series, the Falcons struggled a little bit to find a rhythm. I think they want to put the game in Matt Ryan's hands here with this hurry-up offense. Let him make decisions based on what he sees and try to keep the Steelers off balance a little bit on defense.
Yeah, it's not just changing the tempo, it's making sure they can't substitute on defense either with their sub packages.
And I'll tell you what, I love this ninja look. I call it the ninja look when all the defensive linemen are standing up.
2nd and 6, pressure on Ryan, and the out. Lost the helmet when Weems caught the ball. And Eric Weems, that's the toughness of this little guy, gets 5 yards.
And don't forget with the new rule, guys, as soon as a player's helmet comes off, plays dead at that spot.
And it should be. Player safety's got to be paramount, and it is. And the league's done a tremendous job. Steelers are going back to their base package. The Falcons going back. Big Casey Hampton checking back into the game. The guy was born to be a nose tackle.
Brian McFadden made the hit. How do you like it up here with the headset, Jim?
You know, I'll tell you what. I'm trying to get used to calling players by name. I'm so used to calling them by position.
3rd down and 1. Turner.
Now that's
not going to get there.
That's Pittsburgh Steeler defense right there. The helmet comes off on the play before, and then they stuff him on 3rd and short.
Led by Lawrence Timmons, who was Mike Tomlin's first draft pick when he became the head coach. The clock shows no time remaining, and that will end the first quarter in a defensive grueling battle here in Pittsburgh. Kickoff weekend, NFL on Fox, and the Steelers in front of the Falcons 3-0. Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator, inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. We start the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, Jim Mora, Laura Open here in Pittsburgh. Michael Kanan punting on 4th down to Antoine Randall L. And a good kick, keeping it in play, and the fair catch by Randall L at the 10.
Jim, if you've got this type of alignment with Pittsburgh, but look at this, that's Troy Polamalu. Now watch what happens. There is no gap anywhere to run the football. They've stoned him, which allows what?
It allows the left corner there, McFadden, to come up and set the edge and essentially make the play. But you're right, Charles. At the point of attack, there was no movement. And I don't think the Falcons can run the ball, power football, on 3rd and 2. Now, 1st and 10, 2nd and long, then I think they can do it. But when the Steelers are lined up, ready for a power run, they can't move them out of there.
Yeah, so far in this game, it's been the Steelers' defensive front controlling things with the Falcons' offensive line.
First down from the 10. Dixon will hand off to Mendenhall, and the Falcons all over him. No gain.
Now, the one good thing that's happened on these last 2 possessions, guys, is that the Falcons have changed field position in their favor. This is the 2nd drive in a row that the Steelers are starting from deep, coming out, right? So they're coming out off of the goal line. That allows the Falcons now, if they can hold here,
great
gain
point.
Field position.
Great point. It's a 3-point game, and you're seeing the changes in field position. So, you know what? Falcons get a good drive.
And Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, trying to keep them penned in to help his offense.
2nd down and 10. Again, Heath Miller lining up in the backfield. And the pitch is to Mendenhall. Spinning his way out. Not a bad run as he gets out to the 15. Kurt Menefee has another game break for us. Kurt, take it away.
All right, Dick, first regular season game at the new Meadowlands Stadium, and the Giants put up their first touchdown. Eli Manning to Hakeem Nicks, 26 yards on the score, and the Giants lead Carolina as they start the second quarter, 7-3. Dick, Charles, and Jim.
What do you think of the Giants' chances here? Everyone's talking Dallas in the NFC East, Charles.
And I think they love that because they've got a new spirit on defense with Perry Fuel as their coordinator. Guys will come out ready to play. And Hakeem Nicks trying to emulate Plexico Burress.
3rd down and 5 after the run by Mendenhall. Dixon given some time here. And he throws to Antoine Randall. Lunges, but will be a yard short of the 1st down. So the field position pays off for the Falcons, Jim.
It does. And I'll tell you what, I really like what the Falcons are doing on defense here in that 3rd and intermediate. The Steelers are anticipating blitz. The Falcons are playing 3-man rush, dropping 8, and there it looked like they had a double spy on Dixon.
And I thought that they did a nice job game planning because they know the best throws for Dennis Dixon are intermediate and deep balls. And they covered that one well.
Sepulveda kicking to Eric Weems. Fair catch by Weems at the 28.
Yeah, and he's going to regret that fair catch.
This is a chess game we have going on in Pittsburgh for our opener. Dixon in only his 2nd NFL start against Matt Ryan, a little more experience. 3-point game. And welcome back to Pittsburgh. Defense, you see there upstairs, that's what this game is about. Dennis Dixon over on the sidelines, engineered that first drive that got a field goal. That's been the only scoring. 1st down at the 28. Pitch goes to Michael Turner. And he gets a couple of, that's all.
And here's the book we're talking about that. In this case, it's not a book, but it's a series of photos taken from the sideline and the end zone right before the ball is snapped and right after the ball is snapped so that Bruce Arians here, the offensive coordinator, between series can get with his young quarterback, Dennis Dixon, and explain what the Falcons defense is trying to do to him. And it gives him a visual that helps him as they go through the game.
2nd and 7. Again, it's Turner. And again, the Steelers are staunch against the run, led by James Harrison. No gain on the play will bring up 3rd down. That's kind of a game where no play by either side has been longer than 10 yards.
Well, here's a good reason why. The 2008 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, James Harrison, helping turn the play back inside. He didn't make the play. Timmons, Casey Hampton did, but he turned it inside where traffic was, and they cleaned it up.
3rd and 6. Brian Finneran, the 3rd down receiver, is in there and going deep and making the catch. Roddy White will have a 1st down to the 47-yard line. That's the longest play from scrimmage, 16 yards.
There's Roddy right here running an out route. Outstanding poise by Ryan, staying in the pocket, especially with the pressure. And an outstanding, that's a tough route to defend when you're playing inside man leverage like that corner is there. That's
the throw, flat out phenomenal. From the pocket to the deep outside, on the money.
1st down at the 48 of Atlanta. Here's Turner. And down he goes. Lawrence Timmons for a loss on the play.
You're not going to get an outside run on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They try to bounce that outside. There's too much speed. They play a 3-4 defense, so they try to corral everything inside. There's too much push up the middle.
As a coach, you've got to love what you're seeing because they don't allow creases for the runner to come here.
Well,
what they're doing is they're making him bounce outside.
2nd down and 12. Jarius Norwood checking in at running back. Ryan will throw it, and he'll complete it to Harry Douglas, and a 1st down to the 41 of Pittsburgh. A pickup of 13 with Woodley, the linebacker, downfield defending.
Getting Harry Douglas back has been huge for Matt Ryan. The one thing that they missed last year, one of the things they missed, was a guy who was a catch and run guy. All right, a guy who can catch it, get it upfield, and turn it into bigger yardage. They lost him in preseason, never had it all year long.
Knee surgery ended that campaign. Jason Snelling, another one of the Falcon backs in there at 1st and 10. And there's Ryan with protection, overthrows Tony Gonzalez. We all thought he was going to catch the first pass he was interfered with and finally get that 1,000 under his belt. He still has not caught one.
Yeah, and Matt Ryan needs to go through his progressions and not focus on just throwing the ball to Tony Gonzalez. Falcons are in their heavy set. They brought an extra offensive tackle in for a tight end there.
Will Svitek, number 74.
And they're overloaded to the Pittsburgh defensive right with linemen.
2nd and 10, pressure up the middle, handoff to Snelling. And there was James Farrier, the ageless one, making the tackle and limiting Snelling to a gain of only 1.
You know, I love the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play. Good defensive football teams have guys on their feet, not guys on the ground getting cut. And look at all the Steelers on their feet, and then the secondary swarming and pursuing and corralling the running back.
Now it's 3rd and 9. And the crowd.
You better believe this is a pressure down here, Dick.
Ryan gets hit as he throws, trying to get it to Gonzalez, but he got hit as he unleashed that throw. And it was Ziggy Hood who put the pressure on, number 96, and a comer for the Steelers.
And good protection up front here by Atlanta. Great job by Snelling on Farrier there, but the coverage was just outstanding down the field. And eventually, against this type of rush, there's a breakdown. And there's Ziggy Hood. Boy, they like old Ziggy Hood now. They say he's really coming on.
Mike Tomlin couldn't say enough about him the other day, so Michael Kanan will kick on 4th down, and Antoine Randall L. Fair catch inside the 10. So once again, the Falcons have the Steelers hemmed in. Long way to go for them in a 3-0 game. We'll be back to Pittsburgh after this. Great fan base, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why not, with 6 Super Bowls to their credit. Meanwhile, starting from the 7-yard line, Dennis Dixon. There's Rashard Mendenhall. Good run by Mendenhall, and he gets 9 on 1st down.
And this is where your eyes carry your feet, because all the blocking goes this way, but watch Rashard Mendenhall see the opening back that way and get to it. Excellent job reading. See the eyes? The eyes carry the feet of a running back. The spin, the move, almost a 1st down.
Second down and 1. They go again to Mendenhall. And he appears to be stopped short by Jamal Anderson.
I'm impressed with the way the Atlanta defensive line is holding up against this power running game, because they are undersized in comparison to what the Pittsburgh Steelers are on offense, and they're doing a nice job of holding up in general.
And Jim, on the other hand, we look at Dennis Dixon. What is he doing that you like so far?
I'll tell you what, Dick, what I love about Dennis Dixon, his numbers aren't overwhelming. He's 5 for 7, right? He's only 26 yards, but we talked about it in the open. Manage the game. Don't make mistakes early in the game when it's critical, or late in the game. We're not there yet, but late in the game when it's critical. Know when to tuck the football away and get to the next down. You're not going to make you're not going to make a great play every play, but manage the game, make good decisions, be careful with the football, and he's doing those things so far.
It'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
So in a sense, if you're a golfer, you can't win the tournament on Thursday, but you can shoot yourself out of it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what Dennis Dixon, don't shoot yourself out of this ball game early, and he hasn't done that.
Is this from a guy who worked in golf broadcasting?
Listen, I live in Orlando, Florida. Every other sentence out of someone's mouth is about golf, so you pick it up as you go along.
Throw it in here, it's okay. 3rd and 1, and Isaac Redmond their third down, short yardage back, checking in. And it's Redmond who gets the first down and a few more to boot out to the 22. Got 5 yards.
And how about that run, guys? Because in short yardage situations, the first play we saw in this drive, we saw what? We saw Rashard Mendenhall cutting back and looking for openings. Here, Redmond's just putting his head down and picking up that yardage. None of this cutting and twisting, none of this saying, okay, where's the get? I'm going straight forward and getting the first down. That's the way the Steelers want to play on short yardage.
Yeah, that's the way to play. Mike Tomlin right there with it. Mendenhall back in. First down at the 21. Here's Dixon. Pass complete to Heath Miller. And a flag is down back at the 22-yard line. Lofton makes the tackle on Miller, who got 16 yards pending the call.
Looks like defensive holding here, Dick.
Defense number 56. Penalty is declined. First down.
That's Sean Weatherspoon, the #1 pick out of Missouri.
Yeah, and that's a rookie mistake there. His feet, he loses his leverage. He's supposed to keep inside leverage on the back. He gets outside. He has to grab him with his arms to try to regain his leverage. The official sees it.
But you got to like the throws that Bruce Arians is giving Dennis Dixon.
Yeah, easy
short,
over the
easy,
middle. Yeah.
right his line of vision, able to throw darts.
I got it up to the 38 now. Started at the 7-yard line. Mendenhall and Redmond in there, and the call is to Mendenhall. And he brings it out to the 40-yard line. And for a game break, once again, here's Kurt Menefee.
One-time Falcon quarterback Matt Schaub, now the man in Houston, hooking up with Kevin Walter for a 22-yard score. The Texans on top of Indy, 13-0. Dick, Charles, and Jim, I'm sure you guys know all the time, Indy 15-1 against the Texans.
How about this one?
You know, I like the Texans this year.
A lot of people do. I saw Moby Okoye, their defensive tackle in the offseason. He said, I can't wait for that opener. We owe the Colts something.
Well, they owe them right now 13-0. They're up. And second down and 8 for Dixon, who has plenty of time. And he completes it to Hines Ward, still on his feet. And Hines Ward gets inside the Falcon 40. And a fumble on the play. Let's see. Hines Ward with a 21-yard gain, held onto the ball.
Watch this route that he runs against Dante Robinson. Great job setting him up with an outside move and then being physical, getting inside, and not only that, understanding that he's not touched. Let's get up and get more out of the play. It'll be interesting to watch Dante Robinson, the new acquisition for the Falcons, all day, playing a new style of coverage for him. He's used to press man, playing off.
First down to Rashard Mendenhall. Tough to bring down, and he gets to the 30, a little inside the 35-yard line. Trey Essex with a superb block and a 5-yard pickup.
Jim, you know what I'm seeing out there right now with the Steelers? I'm seeing their offensive line having fun.
Yeah.
Nothing like offensive linemen be able to fire off and smack someone in the run game.
And I'm sensing confidence. And I'll tell you what, don't let this train get on the tracks. And look at the disparity and weight between the offensive line and the defensive line there. And as the game wears on, that will become critical.
And that was before breakfast.
We have to adjust those numbers now. Second down and 5. Dixon.
Oh!
And the pass is intercepted. And it's Mike Peterson forcing the first mistake of the day by Dennis Dixon, who has gone flawless up to this point. 4:34 remaining in the first half, and the Falcons stop the Steelers' serve. Steelers marched 58 yards in 7 plays. They started on their own 7 prior to the interception by Peterson.
And Hines Ward trying to calm Dixon down to him, hey, let it go. Let it go. Move on.
Good veteran leadership right there.
First down at the 28 for the Falcons. Trail 3-0. Ryan up the middle. And open is Harry Douglas with the catch to midfield.
All right, on the interception, What they're going to try and do is get Heath Miller right out here, and what Dennis Dixon needs to do is put some touch on the ball. Instead, he fires because that's got to go over Mike Peterson, not through him. And he throws the ball on a line, no chance.
And that's just a bad, yeah, that's what he's saying right there. He got confused for some reason, but he's got to avoid those mistakes in the scoring zone.
23-yard gain, and under the pressure, and a pretty good catch by Jarius Norwood, and a fake by Norwood. And he very nearly gets the first down and may have it still inside the Steeler 40. Ryan Clark made the tackle. What moves by Jarius Norwood?
Well, this guy's got rare speed, and if you let him alone in the open field, he can take it the distance. And here they end up with the right tackle, Brett Kiesel, on him. And look at this move right there. That's classic Jarius Norwood. Reminds me of Gale Sayers when he does those types of things.
I'm just surprised Ryan was able to get the ball out of his hands and get it to him.
Great catch.
2nd down and 1. Falcons on the Steeler 40. Michael Turner. 1st down to the 35. James Harrison on the stop, a gain of 5. And it's a return to Pittsburgh for Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator of the Falcons, who spent 11 years and still loves the city.
Yeah, and Mike is an outstanding offensive mind. Outstanding. He put together great offenses here when he was with Pittsburgh, and now he's doing the same in Atlanta. Does a tremendous job of mixing personnel group and keeping you off balance on defense.
1st down at the 35. Turner again. And Turner tripped up from behind by Ziggy Hood, limiting a 4.5-yard gain by Turner.
And Tony Gonzalez, who's not known as a great blocker, does an excellent job here. Gives him the edge, sustains his blocks. But what I like there is I like Turner's patience. Okay, early in the game, it looked like he was trying to force the runs up in there. These last couple runs, he's looked more patient, waiting for the play to develop, waiting for the hole to open, and then squirting through there.
We're going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. Whoever thought that Tony Gonzalez would not make the catch for 1,000 career receptions by 2 minutes remaining in the half? Well, he hasn't. 2 minutes remaining in the half. A great game coming up in the second half of our doubleheader. The Packers at the Eagles. Kevin Cobb starting the season as the new quarterback. Donovan McNabb is now with Washington. Falcons with a 2nd and 5 now on the Steeler 30. Polamalu putting pressure on, and Ryan's pass is caught to Justin Peel, the first catch by the backup tight end, picking up 2 yards.
Go ahead.
What's making a difference here for the Falcons offense, Charles, you and I were talking about in the break, is they're staying on schedule, which means they're getting some yardage on 1st down. They're getting into 3rd and manageable downs where they can get conversions and keep the Steelers out of their pressure. And that's a big time to stay on schedule on the early downs.
Both the Falcons and Steelers have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 3. Matt Ryan, and off the chest of Jarius Norwood. 4th down and a field goal try coming up for the Falcons.
Back-to-back plays, we've seen Matt Ryan show maybe a little more athletic ability than he's given credit for. He scrambled out of the pocket, completed a pass on 2nd down, and here on 3rd down, going against his body, gets it back the other way, and hits Jarius Norwood right between the 3 and the 2. A tough catch, but boy, he put it right on him.
Matt Bryant will try a 46-yard field goal to tie the game. And Bryant's kick is no good as it tailed off to the right. And the Steelers keep their 3-0 lead. It looked good early, but not late. As Charles and I welcome Jim Mora to our booth this year, is this the most relaxed you've been on a Sunday in some time?
I'll tell you what, it's a little bit different up here than it is down there. And I'll tell you what, hey, thanks for having me. I'm having a great time.
And stay for the whole game, all right? You're welcome to stay.
That's an inside joke.
1st down on the 36.
This is a runner screen down typically in your 2-minute situation.
Dixon Goes underneath to Heath Miller, and Miller will get a first down near midfield, and the Steelers in the hurry up now. Still have all 3 timeouts left.
And I think that play there determined whether or not they would stay in a hurry up or not.
Absolutely.
Because they had such a good gain out near midfield. Now is an opportunity to stay with. If that's incomplete, they might tuck their horns in and try and just get out of the half.
And Mewelde Moore on the handoff, and a terrific defensive play made by Sean Weatherspoon, the rookie linebacker, and now the Steelers will call the first timeout of the game.
And the Steelers have a lot of options here, Charles. They had 3 timeouts. They're down to 2. There's a lot of time left on the clock. They've got good field position. So this isn't a real stressful 2-minute situation for Dennis Dixon.
The only scoring in the game was the field goal by Jeff Reed, 52 yards out on the first possession of the game. And it's the longest field goal by an NFL kicker here in this stadium.
And I hope that you've seen on our screen some of the new things we've got at Fox this year. Right here, the timeouts. See the lights? Right there, there's one that's out. That means this 1 down, so that gives you 3 for the half. And you often see on our box the circle during the play clock, showing you how the play clock is winding down. Again, remember the best throws for Dennis Dix are those intermediate crossing type routes where you can see the throw the whole way.
Second down and 10 on the 49 of the Steelers. 1:11 on the clock. 4 wide receivers, and it's tipped, nearly intercepted, almost right into the hands of John Abraham. And for a game break, let's immediately go to Kurt Menefee in LA.
Well, the Houston Texans, Matt Schaub was picked off, and the Colts turned it into points. Reggie Wayne, Peyton Manning, never heard that before. It's now a closer ball game, 13-7, winding towards halftime. And Kenny Moose and Bruce will have all the halftime highlights for you in just a bit.
Great job here by the Falcons defense. John Abraham needs to catch that and score, but bringing pressure off the left, dropping the right end, right into the line of vision of the quarterback where he wants to go hot.
The Dick LeBeau zone blitz.
Here comes Heat again.
3rd down and 10. Dixon hangs in there, and the pass is caught close to the first down by Mike Wallace. And the whistle stops the clock with 59 seconds showing. Mike Wallace, the fastest Steeler receiver in his 2nd year.
Timeout. Pittsburgh, this is their 2nd charge, timeout. 30 seconds.
1 left for Pittsburgh.
Jim, you just mentioned the heat from the previous play. It was his own blitz, and John Abraham dropped. This time he's doing what he does best, running that arc and trying to get to the quarterback, making Dennis Dixon step up to make the throw. He felt the pressure, threw it a little low, a nice completion. But one thing I noticed, guys, young receiver didn't get up and immediately call timeout. Mike Tomlin had to come off the bench to call the timeout.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy, scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats.
And let me tell you, Charles, if he had jumped up and called a timeout, Mike Tomlin might have wrung him by the neck, because that's not his job. They've put the timeouts into the hands of the head coach now in this league, which I think is a good thing. He can manage the game rather than having a young quarterback manage it, or, as you said, a young receiver.
We have a booth review to see whether it was a first down on that catch by Mike Wallace. So we'll take a break, return in just a moment. A booth review on possession by Wallace. Inside 2 minutes, it becomes a booth review. Here's Scott Green.
After reviewing the play on the field is confirmed. It's a first down.
And I think that's a good call. I mean, unless there's indisputable visual evidence, you've got to go with the call as it stands on the field. And I don't see anything there to make me think that it's not a first down. I like what Bruce Arians is doing here with Dixon so far today.
First down on the Falcon 41. 1 timeout left for the Steelers. Dixon stepping up, goes underneath to Mewelde Moore, who's tackled by Stephen Nicholas, gets 4 yards. Here goes the hurry up, but they've got to wait for the receivers to come back.
Yeah, and that's another good decision by Dixon. There's nothing down the field. Just dump it down. You've got time. You've got field position.
At worst, trying to get it into field goal range, and here's Dixon. And the pass is out of bounds. Did not have possession, and both feet in did Antoine Randall L. Immediately called an incomplete pass.
Remember, there's no such thing as a force out here about whether the receiver would come down in bounds or not with the catch without being tackled. If you don't bring it down in bounds, it's not a catch in this league.
Thomas Deku making the hit on Antoine Randall L. So now 3rd down and 6.
Deku's a good young ball player. The Falcon coaches are really high on him.
In this situation, you got to find your veteran receiver. I would look for Hines Ward.
Here comes Heat.
Miller.
Here comes Heat, Charles.
From the 37, pressure on Dixon, and this pass incomplete, intended for Randall L. So it's 4th down. Looked like Randall L was in position to make the catch had the throw been there.
And he didn't turn it loose, Jim, as you talked about earlier in the game. He tried to guide another pass. Instead, he guided it right into the ground.
Yeah, and just like the interception, he's just trying to guide it in and cut it loose. Trust your arm. And I'll tell you what I don't like right now. I hear some boos out there. Stay off this young man.
Jeff Reed made a 52-yard field goal. Longest ever in the stadium. Mike Smith ready to call a timeout to freeze Jeff Reed, and calls it here with 22 seconds left and about 5 seconds on the play clock. So that will be the first timeout by the Falcons. And so Jeff Reed thinking a little bit more about what would be, guys, a 55-yard kick.
Yeah, and you don't usually see a coach freeze a kicker at the end of the half. That's something you typically see at the end of the game. But with 22 seconds left in the half, 2 timeouts left for the Falcons. If he misses this thing, they've got field position and a chance to put some points on the board. So he's going to take every advantage that he can get right here, and something you don't see a lot, freezing the kicker before the half. And I like it, though. I like it.
And you also have to think Mike Smith's thinking, the way this game is gone, scoring opportunities are at a premium.
Oh, boy.
You want to make sure that you maximize.
So the career long kick for Reed was 53, kicked a 52 earlier. And this one will be a 55-yard kick. And it is no good. And it hit the post and bounced away.
Great decision.
It's this close early in the season. Plenty of leg for Jeff Reed.
Hit the upright.
Hit the upright flush. Look, I'm trying to guide it in, trying to steer it, trying to draw it in, and just missed it. But it wasn't the leg, just the accuracy.
Is there draw it in golf lingo again for you, Charles?
Yeah, if only I could play as well as I can make.
Let's hear it. Let's hear this. A mild thump, but a thump nonetheless.
Sounded like one of your jump shots.
You have to try me one day.
First down for Atlanta with time running out. And passes up the middle. And it is ruled a catch by Eric Weems for 17 yards and into Steeler territory. And the Falcons call a timeout in a hurry. They'll have one left. And who's to say they can't get in position for a field goal?
Yeah, and they're going to put time back on the clock here.
Look at him go down and cradle it. If I were the Steelers, I'd go ahead and
that's going to be a boot.
Look at
that's
it.
Going to be a booth replay right there.
Inside 2 minutes.
And that ball's low, but Weems has got to get his hands under that and make that play.
I'm not sure that he didn't, though.
Well, let's see. We're going to find out, aren't we, Charles?
So Matt Ryan coming over to the sideline, and with one timeout left, all they really need is about 10 yards or so to get in position for a field goal to try to tie this game before intermission. Here's Matt Ryan and his pass to Roddy White, and White making the reception, and they'll mark it at the 32, and now with 6 seconds left. Try for it now?
They might run another play. They're going to run another play.
I'd kick it here because I just don't want to mess around with it, although the time just got adjusted from 6 to 7.
Yeah, you got time to run one play here. You got Matty Ice under center.
I'd have to say this could be a little risky unless they just run the ball.
Just ran the same play.
And it's incomplete. And 6 seconds to go, and now they will send on Matt Bryant.
And I go back to Jim's point. He's got Matt Ryan underneath center. He feels very confident in that he will manage the clock with another quarterback. If it's Dennis Dixon, as inexperienced as he is, maybe you kick it then.
So Matt Bryant, who missed a 46-yard field goal, this one from 49 to tie it up. And the Steelers say we can play the same game. We can freeze your kicker. This is just the opening game of the season now, guys.
How about that? Is that the coolest timeout that's ever been called in the NFL?
That's a cool coach there.
He just gave me, Jim, he just gave him the little, just out of the side timeout.
Yeah, one more time.
Timeout. No flair there. Meanwhile, Mike Smith goes up, makes a big deal, getting to the official's face and putting the big T on for timeout. Not Mike Tomlin. Now we're set to go, and the field goal tried by Matt Bryant. And Bryant's kick is good to tie it up as time runs out in the first half. So a Steeler field goal on the opening drive, and now a field goal on the last play by the Falcons. That's the end of the half. We're tied 3-3. Fox NFL Sunday continues with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back here in Pittsburgh, Tony Gonzalez still without the one reception that would give him 1,000 for his career. And it must be an art for coaches calling timeouts, Jim Mora.
Well, we saw two different styles there, and what was interesting about that is, first of all, I have great respect for both of these coaches. They're both outstanding, and they are contrasting in how they coach the game. You would typically think that Mike Tomlin would be the more demonstrative, passionate guy calling the timeout, but he gave it the little timeout.
He gave it the cool shot.
The cool shot. And Mike Smith, who's a little more reserved in his mannerisms, was more demonstrative. So,
but don't forget at the time that it happened, Mike Tomlin was up 3.
Let me tell you something.
And Mike Smith was down 3. So the urgency was on Mike Smith at that point.
Right. True, but game day brings out some amazing things on the side. When you put those headphones on as a coach on the side, you can't believe some of the things that go on between coaches during a game on the sidelines. If we said it to each other on the street,
you'd be
in
fighting.
public,
You'd be
fighting words.
You would know as well as anyone, having been down there. Now, what do we anticipate in the second half, guys?
Well, I think for Atlanta, what I've seen is their offensive line kind of came together as the half went on. They were getting dominated early, and they started to get a few cracks in the defensive front for the running game, and Matt Ryan has been very efficient with the ball. Dennis Dixon made one big mistake in the first half. He cannot do that in the second half.
No, you're right, and Pittsburgh's they've got to hone things in on offense. I think Bruce Arians, who I think is a great coach, is taking a lot of heat around here, which is unfortunate. He needs to hone things in a little bit more for Dixon and come back to the short throws, not try to push it down the field as much.
Well, the Falcons will get the ball first here in the third quarter. Jarius Norwood from the 4. And Norwood brings it out close to the 25 as we send it down to Laura Oakman.
Thanks, Dick. I talked to Mike Smith, who said offensively we handled the surge. He said our protection and our blocking got better, and that's why our drive started to get better. He said that's the key for the second half. Also, he said with scoring so hard to come by, it's going to come down to field position and turnovers. As for Mike Tomlin, he's happy with how Dennis Dixon is playing right now. He said his communication good. He has settled down. He said physicality huge in the second half. He said fatigue is a factor in the first game of the season. We want to make them wilt before we do.
All right, Laura, good job. First down on the 23 for the Falcons. And they have spread it out.
And Gonzalez is about to get his first catch here. Oh, I'm wrong.
Eric Weems, and they won't stop the game for Eric Weems catching a pass.
That ball's not going to the sidelines.
A 6-yard gain.
And they're not going to stop it for Tony Gonzalez because they're in Pittsburgh.
And here's the no huddle again.
3-3 to score. Field goal for opening drive, field goal to end the first half. That's the scoring story.
Notice it's a no huddle, but it's not a hurry up no huddle.
2nd and 5, and Michael Turner gets by one defender, and he'll pick up the first down out to the 35. James Farrier missed a chance to get Turner behind the line.
This could have been such a negative play. Watch Farrier at number 51. He's got the opportunity to stop this at the line of scrimmage or behind it. He misses Turner, and he cuts up inside Polamalu for a nice gain.
On first down, play action. Ryan and Weems, did he keep his feet in bounds? Yes, he did. He had the catch. The official was right there, and he gets 9 yards.
Well, two things. The feet keeping him bounds, but a great job coming back to the football. And that's what you got to do on those outside throws. You got to keep coming back to the football, working towards the line of scrimmage, and Weems does an outstanding job there. And Charles, to your point, there's a big difference between a hurry-up offense and a no-huddle offense. This no-huddle just allows them to keep Pittsburgh with the same personnel group on the field.
And here is Turner. And not letting go was Aaron Smith, making the tackle after the short gain. By the way, Casey Hampton, the nose tackle for the Steelers, is on the sidelines with a hamstring pull. Questionable as to his return. There's Brett Kiesel, who made the play. Nick Eason has replaced Hampton at the nose. First down and the quick, and I don't think Roddy White was ready for that.
No, that was going to be a run play, and this was going to be a run play, and he's thinking about his blocking assignment initially, and he stumbles.
He just stumbled, guys. If you look at that again, he was ready. His eyes were right back into Matt Ryan. He just stumbled coming out trying to catch the football.
Like I said, he was ready, but he just stumbled. And Roddy White, if it doesn't work first, get it to Roddy again, stays in bounds and gets into Steeler territory. 5-yard pickup with Ike Taylor defending.
And that's twice in this game where Roddy White didn't get a catch, and the very next play, Matt Ryan came right back to him. He did in the first half on a sideline route. This time he comes back with that smoke route to the outside.
Yeah, and here's the Falcons offense once again in a manageable 3rd and 5 situation. Finneran's in the backfield for him here.
Ryan on a design rollout. And there it is. The catch by Tony Gonzalez. 1,000 career receptions. And it comes early here in this 3rd quarter.
Dick, this may come back because they're going to say Tony Gonzalez was out of bounds when he converted the route. See, right there, good. See the split? Out of bounds, then came back in. I think the flag came in late.
Touching the ball, number 88 of the offense, went out of bounds, came back in. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You can't be the first to touch the ball after you've gone out of bounds, and so.
Well, how frustrating is this for Tony Gonzalez?
Right. But this is watch the reason why he goes out of bounds. He's supposed to run to the outside. Ball's not, he can't get it there, so he converts the route, turns upfield, and that's where he steps out of bounds and then comes back
Charles,
in.
I've been ready with the call for Gonzalez, and I've been saving it.
We're going to slip a note to Laura Oakman to tell Tony, get the catch, please.
Well, he's not even in the game now, so I got to wait. 2 defensive linemen for the Steelers, and here is the pass, and fighting for the ball and making the catch at the 40-yard line is Roddy White. What catches he's made today for the Falcons.
I love the way he sets him up inside and then comes back. But guys, sometimes you just have to give credit for the catch because the coverage was excellent by Bryant McFadden. He did not take the bait inside, worked with him outside, and Roddy White just fought him for the football and won.
14 yards, and the Falcons are driving. They're on the Steeler 40. Turner has not gotten much today. In fact, before that last play, it averaged only 2.5 yards per carry. James Harrison that time making the play.
Jim, you mentioned a little while ago that you're seeing Matt Ryan become an elite quarterback. I think this drive is encapsulating it because they're putting a lot on him. With a check with me, he makes the calls now. It's a no huddle, not a hurry up. He's seeing the formations, he's seeing the defense, he's calling the plays.
You're absolutely right.
Second down and 10 from the 40. Pressure from behind, and Ryan throwing, and it's caught by Tony Gonzalez, and that will count. Yes, Tony Gonzalez takes him to early in this third quarter, and he makes reception number 1,000 in his career, only the 7th in league history to catch 1,000 passes and the very first tight end.
And a great Pittsburgh reception. Some cheers, some boos. But look at him work up into the seam, and a nice throw by Ryan, throwing it over Woodley and in front of Polamalu. And of course, Gonzalez with the 1,000th catch.
20-yard gain, and I can go home now.
Please don't. Stay with us.
First down at the 21. Here comes the pressure on Ryan, and on the fade pattern, trying to get it to Brian Finneran, but covered well by Ike Taylor.
You know, everything all around him. How about that, Jim? You know, all this madness around Matt Ryan, and he just moves with a little depth slide step and then steps up into the pocket to give Tony Gonzalez more of an opening and puts the ball on him for the 1,000th catch of his career.
And that ball's going to Canton right there.
Steelers continue with only 2 defensive linemen here, and this pass intended for White thrown out of bounds. Ryan had to get rid of it in a hurry with the pressure.
I'll tell you what, Ike Taylor coming free, but Ryan feels it. I'll tell you what's so impressive right now about Matt Ryan is that Pittsburgh is bringing it down after down after down. He's avoiding the rush. He's getting rid of the football. He's making accurate throws, and then he's throwing it away when the situation dictates.
Third down and 10 at the 21. Jarius Norwood is lined up as a receiver, and the pass intended for White overthrown again, and this time McFadden with good coverage. I tell you, the Steelers defensive secondary having a huge game, Charles.
They're playing awfully well, and that allows what? That allows their big guys up front who rush the passer to actually get there. That time, Lamar Woodley, number 56, and James Harrison, number 92, they were able to put pressure on Matt Ryan because the coverage was so good.
So Matt Bryant is on now to try to put the Falcons in front. This would be a 39-yard try. And Matt Bryant's kick is good. Signed in December of '09 after spending 4 years with Tampa Bay. Mike Smith enjoys a lead for the first time today, 6-3. Welcome back to Pittsburgh, and that's Casey Hampton, obviously through for the day with a hamstring pull. The Steelers' nose tackle. Falcons taking a 6-3 lead, and Michael Kanan kicking off, and back deep, Emmanuel Sanders for the Steelers, and a good kick. And Sanders will just take it out on the 20-yard line, and we'll take a break right here. Pittsburgh trying to come back now. Back in Pittsburgh, the Steelers will start from the 20-yard line, and I'm sure a lot of the fans, guys, are saying, I know we don't have Ben Roethlisberger for 4 weeks, and 2-2 would be nice, but if Ben were here, maybe the picture would be different, even though Dixon's only made 1 real mistake. First down, they hand off to Rashard Mendenhall, and he'll get a yard, maybe 2.
You raise an interesting point, though. You talk about the fans and Ben Roethlisberger and how it works. This is a Steelers team led by Mike Tomlin that hasn't moved on. That's the wrong term. But they've dealt with the situation. They knew what was going down. It's a veteran team. And by the way, they didn't vote Ben a captain. Also signifying we're ready to go play this year with you or without you.
Second down and 8. Dixon, and Dixon's going deep for Wallace, and Mike Wallace makes the catch, and out of bounds at about the 25.
Once again, play action allows Dixon to get a deeper drop, but the protection, look at the protection. Gives him time to deliver a strike to Mike Wallace.
52-yard play, and last year Mike Wallace, who's only in his second season, led the NFL in yards per catch at nearly 19 and a half. So he has been a big play man, and a first down on the Falcon 26. Rashard Mendenhall, tough yards up the middle, gets to the 24.
That big physical offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's look and see how this happens down the stretch here into the fourth quarter. They start wearing that smaller, quicker Falcon defensive line down.
And don't forget they have a rookie in the middle, Marquise Pouncey, who's doing a tremendous job helping with line calls and handling people up front.
Flozell Adams, 12-year veteran from the Cowboys at right tackle, second down and 8. Dixon getting the rush, no chance. John Abraham came right in, virtually untouched, and gets the sack. And a loss of 7 yards and the first sack of the game.
Way to go, Jim.
Yeah,
way to put it on him.
I was lucky to coach John Abraham in 2006, and he has rare first step quickness. And they put him over there on Max Starks, and he just ran right around him, and that's what Abe can do. He runs like a darn gazelle. I used to try to run striders with him in the offseason. I'd be running as hard as I could. I'd look at him and look like he wasn't even working.
So now it's 3rd and 15, back to the 30. And the slant flag is down at the 30-yard line. And the
False
catch.
start, offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Flozell Adams with the false start will nullify that catch by Randall L. And right now they're moving into a position where this would be a long field goal try.
Yeah, and the smart play right here for Bruce Arians is run a draw. Run a draw.
And the ball's at the 35. This is where defensive coordinators really protect the line aggressively because of field goal. You might come after them again to try and knock them out of field goal range.
Yeah, and they're maxing it up here. 3-man rush.
Dixon chased by Bierman. And his pass is caught by Hines Ward. What a play by Ward, coming back to the play after the pass rush. And the Steelers are short of the first down, but they certainly are in field goal range now at the 17.
Look at the protection that he gets, and then when he flushes, he keeps his eyes downfield, gets almost to the sideline, and able to deliver that really all arm. And Hines Ward coming back to the football puts him in a great spot to kick a field goal.
And Reed is on, looking to tie it up. This will be a 36-yard attempt. Reed had a 52-yard field goal earlier, and Jeff Reed's kick is good, and we're tied at 6. I don't know why, because we have a defensive coach here, that we have to have a low-scoring game. Are we destined for that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Back in Pittsburgh. What did Dixon show you on that one, Jim Moore?
He showed me how much he's matured. We saw a play similar to that in the preseason where he made the decision to throw it in the end zone as an interception there. Great command of the play.
Jarius Norwood will down it there and take it out on the 20. Good kickoff by Reed. We'll take a break. Matt Ryan, who's completed 15 of 26 for 159 yards. Look what Matt Ryan has done since the early start. You talked about his maturity.
That's why they call him Matty Ice. He's not worried about the 1-for-4 start. That's why it leads him to the 14 for 22 thereafter.
And the terrible towels are in full bloom. From the 20, Turner. Not been able to get unleashed so far today. Brian McFadden halts him after a 6-yard pickup.
I feel like the offensive line of Atlanta is doing a much better job from about midway through the second quarter through now of escorting their backs to the line of scrimmage to give them an opportunity to gain yardage. Earlier in the game, the penetration was big. They weren't able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tony Gonzalez right in front of you right here. The tight end lined up wide. 2nd down and 4. And the pass, Harry Douglas was crossing over and may have enough for the first down at the 30.
Charles, you talked about the line. I like what their wide receivers are doing in blocking. And we talked to Mike Mularkey last night. He said he wanted them to take a Hines Ward type approach. Just a simple out route.
It's 3rd and 1. Quarterback sneak by Matt Ryan. And the way the officials are running in, we may need a spot here. And it is a first down as Matt Ryan goes back to his huddle. Nothing but field goals in this game. 2 by each team. Steelers, by the way, have won 7 consecutive opening games, the longest current streak in the NFL. And coming up next, the Packers and the Eagles, and what a start in the second half of our Fox NFL doubleheader. First down at the 31. And the slant to Roddy White, and White picks up about 6.5 yards, covered by Taylor.
They just isolated Roddy White on that play simply by formation. Traded over from one side to leave Roddy White by himself on the wide side. Whether it's zone or man, it essentially becomes man-to-man coverage when you're throwing out one-on-one.
Yeah, and that was a called run in the huddle. Just a great adjustment between White and the quarterback there, Matt Ryan.
White with 7 catches leads the parade, and the handoff is to Turner. And Turner gets hit by Polamalu and then Ryan Clark.
Great penetration up front by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Causes Turner to dance. Watch these guys penetrate. And you can get into, when you can get into the backfield, like we're getting here, and stay on your feet, and you've got fast linebackers like the Steelers do. And I'll tell you what, you're going to corral a guy like Michael Turner. Too much dancing in the backfield, but it's caused by the penetration.
3rd down and 1, and the Steelers defending against a 3 tight end formation. Ryan throwing against it and completing it to Justin Peele. And the tight end makes the grab at the 48-yard line of the Falcons. An 8-yard pickup and a first down.
Them throwing in that 3rd and 1 situation, Jim, is that a sign of the respect they have for the defensive front of the Steelers, worried about running on 3rd and 1 in that situation?
Well, I think so. You know, early in the game, we saw them try to power it up in there. It didn't work. And there they get in their 3 tight end formation, and they run a quick route there and hit Peele.
Casey Hampton not in there. Chris Hoke is the nose tackle on first down. And Ryan gets hit by James Harrison from behind. And a loss of 5. Second time the Steelers have gotten to Matt Ryan today.
Look at the jump Harrison got on Sam Baker. He was essentially, he timed the snap count so perfectly that he was by Sam Baker almost before Sam got out of his stance. Matt Ryan had no opportunity.
Yeah, he saw Abraham do it last. He says, hey, you know what? I can do that too.
Might have to go to the hard count, see if they're jumping and timing him up.
2nd and 15 on the 44. Ryan has time, goes up the middle to Jason Snelling out of the backfield. And right now, a game break. Kurt Menefee from L.A.
A lot of Atlanta fans saw Noshawn Moreno do this at the University of Georgia. Look, leapfrog and then a little stutter step here. He'd have to score on this play, but he does a couple of plays later from a yard out. Jacksonville and the Broncos tied at 14, but boy, that was pretty, wasn't it, Dick?
Yeah, Noshawn Moreno, you saw a lot of him in college, Charles. Outstanding young back.
3rd and 12. Crowd in full throat. And incomplete. Intended for Roddy White and Brian McFadden. In his second tour of duty with the Steelers, and did not play the last couple of games in preseason.
We saw the play earlier where McFadden got his hand in and didn't get it in there. But I'll tell you what, the confidence that Matt Ryan has in throwing the deep out route to Roddy White is very, very, very impressive, because that is a tough throw to make.
Michael Kanan on fourth down, kicking to Antoine Randall L. Just outside of 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's going to bounce, and the Falcons will have a chance to down it, and they will at about the 6-yard line. This has been a defensive battle all the way, reflected in the faces of both of these teams. 6-6 the score with 1:53 left in the third.
Well, Dennis Dixon on that last drive, the first drive of the second half, he showed me something there. Showed some poise in the pocket, hits Mike Wallace down deep, and then the play that was most impressive was the 3rd and long play. Could have stepped out of bounds, could have thrown the ball away, had the confidence to step up and throw it down there and give a chance to kick the field goal.
And they did, and we're tied, but now starting from the 8-yard line is Dixon. It's got Mendenhall and Redmond both in the backfield and under pressure. And this pass, Mendenhall out to the 14-yard line. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the pennant race continues to heat up as the Braves look to keep pace with the Phillies in the NL East, take on the Mets, Padres, and Cardinals. That's a big one. Albert Pujols and the Tigers looking to play spoiler as they battle the White Sox. Coverage of Fox Saturday Baseball begins this week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. 2nd and 4. Nothing for Mendenhall. And a Steeler is shaken up.
Starks.
Max Starks, the left tackle. Now, as you know, the Steelers already lost their right tackle, Willie Colon, to a torn Achilles that he suffered in June, thus the acquisition of Flozell Adams, who was signed. There is Willie Colon.
And he's done a nice job trying to get Flozell Adams ready to play. He and Trey Essex, their starting right guard, with a lot of extra time trying to help Flozell move from the left side to the right side. And now with Max Starks out, who actually volunteered to move over to the right side to help out Flozell Adams, but they said, no, you stay on the left side. He's hurt, which means Jonathan Scott will come into the game, the swing tackle, to play for him.
And it's a good thing it's not a 3rd and long, because if it was, watch out for John Abraham, who's licking his chops right now.
There's Max Starks there, working against John Abraham, and he gets rolled up on from the inside.
That looks like one of those high ankle sprain possibilities.
Let's hope he's going to be all right. They need that big fella protecting the young quarterback.
Yeah, when you're carrying 345 around and you roll your ankle,
that's what amazes me.
Torque.
This amazes me about people who are predicting the season and who's going to be in the Super Bowl when you don't know when the injuries will happen or where.
Often it's the healthiest team.
This doesn't look good. He can't put him.
They give him the sideline, they'll work on him there. But coming into this, guys, 2 factions of this Steelers ball club were taking this game personally. The offensive line, and I'm including the tight ends, because they wanted to really help the young quarterback, and the defense, who said, guys, we've got to take responsibility for this young quarterback and take care of this ball game for him. Thus far today, I think both sides are doing a nice job upholding their end of the bargain.
And there you saw Jonathan Scott, as you mentioned, come into the game in his 4th season.
You want to get him on the move here at all?
Well, here's what they did is they put a tight end over there next to him, widen Abe out a little bit, give him a little help.
3rd down and 3 on the 15. Steelers have lost 1 lineman on each side of the ball. Casey Hampton and now Max Starks. Dixon. And did he get enough for the first down?
I think he's going to be a little short.
Yeah. Curtis Lofton making the play that might have prevented the first down.
Well, the ball now, hey,
Yes.
look at the ball. The ball's got to get to that line, and it doesn't.
It's not.
It is not. He didn't make it.
He did not make it. I'll tell you what, I think it's further back than where they spotted. Did you see the pressure that John Abraham applied there? He went right down the middle on Jonathan Scott.
I agree totally. I think they got an excellent spot because that ball should be spotted in there, not where it ends up being spotted.
Hey, they're measuring it, but Daniel Sepulveda, the punter, is already on the field. So that's what the Steelers think about their chances of getting the first down here.
Yeah, and okay, they're short there. I was going to say, you'll see the red flag come out real quick if they gave him the first down there. Mike Smith probably had it in his hand already.
So fourth down and about a foot and a half with 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And there's Eric Weems. Last punt return for a touchdown 2 years ago by Harry Douglas against the Panthers.
This is where they need a big shot out of Sepulveda. He has a monster leg, and earlier in the game he kicked them out of trouble. They need another one from him.
Most of it had been on high kicks. This one, directional kick away from Weems. It calls for the fair catch at the 36. Not bad at all for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get out of trouble. What a grueling opener we have in this game with, the field goal's the only scoring and the defense is dominating.
Well, you know what? I don't know how the people that like points scored feel about this game, but as a defensive coach,
I know you do.
This is a great football game right here, man.
Well, what's interesting to me is that you would expect this out of Pittsburgh. This is normal for them, playing this type of a game, this type of a defensive struggle. But for Atlanta, 28th ranked defense last year in the NFL, they've got to be heartened by what they're seeing, how they're hanging in there today.
And Brian Van Gorder has done a tremendous job with this Atlanta defense.
5 new starters in the lineup today for the Falcons, and we have not had a touchdown scored. Matt Ryan starting from the 37, hands off to Michael Turner, and James Farrier brings Turner down after a gain of only 1, and that will be the last play of this third quarter. Neither team has been able to run the ball in this game. 6-6 after 3.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Bad news for Pittsburgh fans and especially for Dennis Dixon. Left tackle Matt Starks carted off the field. He is going to undergo x-rays. Looks like it's his left ankle. I can tell you every time the staff was touching that ankle, he yelled out in pain. I'll give you an update as soon as I get one, Dick.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. And on the first play of the fourth quarter, Matt Ryan dumps it off to Michael Turner. And Turner picks up about 8 yards to the 45.
I'll tell you what, Matt Ryan is so impressive. Throwing the deep out, slipping and sliding in the pocket and hitting the check down there, managing the game. I love the way Mike Mularkey gave him the keys to the car there in the third quarter, said drive it with the no huddle. The kid he's going to, we all know this, it's stating the obvious, he's going to be a superstar.
3rd down and 2. Ryan's pass nearly intercepted and right in the hands of William Gay, the nickelback who started practically all of last year on the pass intended for Gonzalez.
You simply have to stop praising people.
I'll tell you,
because when you do it, this is what happens. Watch this. Watch Gay just reading the eyes, moving sideways into the route, and should have been an interception. Matt Ryan was on that the whole way with Gonzalez, and Gay had a chance for a huge play.
So Michael Kanan will be kicking again, and Antoine Randall lower kick than usual, and Randall is hit immediately, and that is Christopher Owens. And Randall did all he could to hold on to that ball, I would think, and not turn it over.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dick. I mean, just holding on to the ball was a victory there because he got there, timed it up perfectly. Probably would have liked to have had about another half step, don't you think, Jim? Because then he could have really lowered the boom on it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, this guy right here, he is a great punt returner, a proven player in this league. He knew it was coming. He knew how to protect the football. Guys like Randall, they don't make many mistakes back there.
Well, it's an interesting game. We start the fourth quarter, and which team is going to have the long drive for a touchdown, or maybe the long play for the touchdown? Starting here on the 17. Rashard Mendenhall, and not much there. And the Falcons saying the ball was jarred loose and they would have possession.
Heard that multiple whistle, which usually signifies ball was down.
Right.
So you don't worry about that. The officials determined that the ball was not out. He's down clearly before the ball comes out. Dick, you posed that question. We've seen the one deep throw that Dennis Dixon completed to Wallace. I'm wondering if the Falcons are still playing field position, as Mike Smith told Laura Oakman at the half. If they get better field position, they might take their shot downfield too.
2nd down and 8. Dixon's pass, and that was nearly picked off by Christopher Owens on the throw intended for Mike Wallace.
I'm going to say it again, and I said it earlier. Throw the ball inside. Don't throw the ball outside. When he throws the ball outside, he gets in trouble. When he throws the ball between the numbers, between the hashes, he's making plays. Bruce Arians, I know you, I love you. Throw the ball inside.
Then we can get a direct line, you to Bruce, so you can hear that.
So now you think they should throw it inside? Is that what the point you're trying to make?
That point?
I think what he said was throw it inside.
I think so too. I agree with everybody. 3rd down and 8. Spreading it out with 3 wide receivers on the right. Here comes the pressure from the corners, and Dixon will loft it in the air, and the pass is going to be caught. What a play on a tip ball, and the catch by Hines Ward.
You know, Hines Ward told us Friday when we met with him, he says, you know what, we've got to make some plays for Dennis Dixon. We've got to make some plays. We've got to help this young man. And he did that right there. The vet, look at him stay with it. I love Hines Ward. What a competitor. What a pro.
What concentration.
What concentration. What a big play at the right time.
How about the touch by Dixon?
Not just the touch, but the movement in the pocket, kept his eyes downfield and didn't just flush and run. He threw it.
24-yard gain. And there's Dixon again, and wide open is Ward again. Hines Ward to the 32 of Atlanta. "25 yards.
Look at Dennis Dixon in the pocket, eyes constantly scanning the field before he finds Hines Ward downfield.
And down the middle.
And a 1st down at the 32. 2 catches by Hines Ward for 49 yards in a row. Now they give it to Mendenhall. And this has been a broken record. Mendenhall was stopped by Mike Peterson and Jamal Anderson. In case you're wondering, Mendenhall has gained 46 yards rushing and Turner 36. So the running game is not a factor today.
No, and this is 2 teams that like to run the football, but very, very good defense being played here today, and that might be the understatement of the broadcast right there, Dick.
Well, you got to be proud of what you're seeing defensively.
I love it. I'm so happy to see the Falcons playing defense like this.
Because you knew the Steelers would.
Well, you knew the Steelers would, but I love the Falcons, and Brian Van Gorder doing an excellent job with that defense.
2nd down and 10 at the 32, and here's Mendenhall with a burst. 1st down to the 19. Chauncey Davis with a tackle. 13-yard pickup.
And how about this? Max Starks is out of the lineup, but that's his side of the ball. Jonathan Scott comes in and does a nice job along with Essex. And look at Pouncey, 53 leading. Essex gets the block right there, number 71. And that gets Mendenhall to the third level, which is the secondary.
1st down on the 19. The Steelers threatening in a 6-6 game. And here's Mendenhall again. But he will lose a couple as we send it to L.A. and a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
After crossing the 10,000 career receiving yard mark early in the game, Chad Ochocinco ties Carl Pickens for the Bengals receiving touchdown record. That's his 63rd. Pulls Cincy a little bit closer to New England. 31-17 as they start the fourth quarter. But Dick, Charles, and Jim, maybe the biggest surprise is he just simply went back over to the sideline.
That is the biggest surprise.
Well, when you're down 31-17, that's the best thing to do. Go to the bench and try and go back and score some more.
Second down and 11 on the 20. And the pass batted down by Chauncey Davis. Didn't have to go that high to get the hands on the ball either.
Well,
he didn't get knocked down.
He didn't get cut. You know, when you're going to throw that quick screen out there, you've got to cut the defensive end right here.
See, he tries to. He just jumps over.
Well, it's just an athletic move by Chauncey there. And, you know, we drafted Chauncey when I was first in Atlanta. The kid's an athletic guy playing out at right end. More suited to play inside. Shows great athleticism there, though.
Biggest third down of the game right here, both teams.
Steelers need 11. They are in field goal range, however. And Dixon's pass. And it's caught by Antoine Randall L., who gets to the 16-yard line. Will be short of the first down by 6 yards. But Jeff Reed will come into the game and try to give the Steelers the lead.
Why was that the biggest third down? Because points have been at a premium. We're tied at 6. Steelers, one of the better drives of the game, not able to put it in the end zone, which would have put a lot of pressure on the Falcons offense, and the Falcons defense holds them to a 3-point attempt. They feel good about themselves.
Drive started at the 17. This will be a 34-yard attempt by Reed, who is 2 for 3 today. And Reed's kick, and it's good, barely good. Just got inside the right upright, but the Steelers will take it. And a 9-6 lead with 8:54 remaining in the fourth. Steelers lead 9-6. There is Hines Ward talking with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I think he's telling him, hey, you know what? You've done a heck of a job all week with Dennis Dixon, and it's paying off. You see Hines Ward go make those 2 spectacular plays for them in critical situations there. That's what a leader does. That's what a pro does, and that's what you love about Hines Ward.
Who made his 900th career catch on that drive. Running up is Jarius Norwood, and Norwood with a good return up to the 30-yard line as the Falcons come back. The Steelers with the first lead since 3-0, up by 3. Timeout. Christopher Owens being helped off the field, and they're working on Eric Coleman. So right now the Falcons have their strong safety and their nickel corner hurt.
Yeah, and early in the year when you start predicting who's going to make the Super Bowl and who's going to win divisions and all those things, the one thing you can't account for is injuries.
That's what we're saying.
Big drive here for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
First down at the 31. Norwood is the running back for the Falcons. And here is Norwood. He got some space, and Timmons makes the tackle, and a gain of 6. What are the Giants doing? Kurt Menefee with a game break.
No touchdowns in your game. Hakeem Nicks and Eli Manning have enough for everybody. This is their 3rd time hooking up for a Giants score today. And Carolina and the Giants keep going back and forth right now. New York up by 8 going into the fourth quarter. Dick, Charles, and Jim.
A little breathing room for the Giants here.
I think they remember what Carolina laid on them last December.
Yes. Falcons have outgained, or the Steelers have outgained the Falcons in the total yardage. Here's Turner back in the game. And Turner close to the first down as he crosses the 40. Lawrence Timmons making the tackle.
I'll tell you what, we talked to James Ferry yesterday. He talked about having to wrap this guy up, and big physical bruising runner. Good tackling there, though.
Earlier in the game on this type of short yardage, they went quarterback sneak out of a heavy set rather than take the ball away from the line of scrimmage.
Well, here they're unbalanced over here to their left.
3rd and 1 with Turner and Norwood in the backfield, and they flip it out to Jarius Norwood. And let's see if he got enough impetus to get the first down. It was Brian McFadden who forced the play from the secondary.
I'll tell you what, regardless if this is a first down or not, that is one heck of a play by Bryant McFadden in the open field versus an athlete like Jarius Norwood.
But this is the danger of taking the ball away from the line of scrimmage on that type of a short yardage. That's Polamalu, who almost knocked the ball free in the backfield, and McFadden with the tackle.
We're going to have a measurement here.
He's got it. He's got it by a football, Dick.
Boy, Polamalu almost knocked
Jim,
that
I
thing
won't
free.
argue with you, especially now.
But that play by Polamalu, how close was that?
What
to being
eyesight.
disaster?
What eyesight.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, let's watch Mike Tomlin here. Might pull the red flag. No, he's not. He's going to keep it in his pocket, and that's smart. It's not a high percentage challenge right there.
First down on the Falcon 42. Here comes pressure up the middle on Ryan, and the ball is loose, and it's a free ball, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And it's James Harrison, and Harrison goes in. And a flag is down at the 30-yard line.
It's going to come back. That's going to come back. That's an incomplete pass. Arm was moving forward with the ball in the hand.
On the return, illegal block in the back, number 76, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you know, a challenge flag has already come out. And Mike Smith, this one was obvious.
Yeah, it was, but
play.
it was obvious.
Challenging the ruling on the field.
Right there, forward motion with the arm. It was obvious, but I like what the officials are doing, what the league's doing, by letting them play the play out.
Yes. Challenge in effect. Former head of NFL officials Mike Pereira with us now in the Fox Command Center. Great to have him with us. What about this play, Mike?
Well, you just got to look now. Did he have control of the ball with the arm going forward? And I think he did. I think this is an incomplete pass. He had clear control and arm was clearly going forward. This gets reversed, in my opinion.
Mike, what about the idea of these officials going ahead and playing that, letting these plays play out rather than blowing them dead and possibly being wrong?
I think we've gotten away from that. I think you really want to officiate by instinct. Call them the way they are, because past fumbles you can review either way.
It'll be second down and 10.
And Scott Green backing you up, Mike Pereira, and thank
Please
you
reset the game clock
for
to 6:48.
coming in with your views. And so
Atlanta is not charged with a time.
it is an incomplete pass, no touchdown by the Steelers, and the Falcons are not charged with a timeout. So that is a critical play in the game, even though when you looked at it, it really wasn't that hard to judge.
No, it was an easy call, but you know, I've made a habit of arguing with Mike Pereira in my years as a head coach. I'm going to do it again there. I think you got to let the play play. That was a touchdown. That wouldn't have been a recovery and stop the ball had the whistle blown. So I like the way the officials let it play out.
Second down and 10. Scott Green doing a great job of explaining it all. Ball is at the 41. Here comes the pressure, picked up nicely by the Falcons, and the pass caught by Roddy White on the Steeler 40-yard line. And Atlanta with a big strike of 19 yards with McFadden and Clark defending against White.
Coming back right to the line of scrimmage, but they're still not in a hurry up. It's a no huddle, but that allows Matt Ryan to look at the coverages and make the proper call.
From the 40, first down. Roddy White again with the catch at the 34. And the Steelers timed their rush perfectly there, didn't they, Jim?
Yeah, and they're doing all they can to bring heat up the middle. But Matt Ryan's doing a nice job of getting rid of it. The three inside linemen are doing a nice job of protecting.
Second down and 4. Roddy White trying to drive for the first down. And let's see where they spot the ball it'll be close to it. You would never call a Mike Pereira like during a game. Would you ever do a thing like that?
You know what? I actually did last year at Indianapolis. I called Mike on his cell phone at halftime to complain about a call, and he was astounded that I would do that. But Mike he was so good for the National Football League. He brought so much stability to the officiating department. He was so even-keeled. And as a coach on Mondays, when you'd call him with complaints, he was fantastic at explaining to you the procedures of the play.
Well, Mike Smith certainly is enjoying it, and they're going to measure it, and it appears to be short. And what did Mike Pereira say to you, Jim, when you called him and he answers his cell phone, and it's a coach who's coaching a game right now? They're short by that much.
He says, what the heck are you doing? But I was so livid at what was going on the field that I couldn't. I said, I got to call Mike. I'm going to call Mike because I have a great relationship with Mike and have a lot of respect for him, and I wanted to let him know what was going on.
It had nothing to do with Peyton Manning cutting you guys apart. I mean, it was more.
You guys did that game, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Peyton got after it pretty good there, which he gets after everybody pretty good. But
I'd call him complain that he's playing. Why can't we get him off the field?
So they were short by less than a yard.
It's got to be
third and inches.
Sneak. I take sneak right here.
And on the jumbo, here is the quarterback sneak by Matt Ryan, and he appears to have enough for the first down as we wind down to 5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth.
It was so short. They've had to push before where they got the quarterback sneak in, and I do believe the last time when they had third and short, when they ran that flip play, and Polamalu almost knocked the ball free in the backfield, that stays with a play caller. If you're Mike Mularkey, you say, okay, I don't take the ball away from the line of scrimmage.
And no Casey Hampton. No Casey Hampton in the middle.
He's out with a hamstring, the nose tackle. Chris Hope replaced him. First down at the 29. Here's Matt Ryan against pressure, and his pass is caught by Tony Gonzalez. And Gonzalez out of bounds. And a first down inside the 15 with Polamalu and Clark, a 15-yard gain. And who else do you go to when you're down there but number 88?
This is a guy that every year is going to be in the top 5 in catches in the fourth quarter, the top 5 in catches on third and fourth down. He's a go-to guy who makes big plays when you need him.
10th play of the drive coming up. First down. Turner. And Turner is pushed back, will lose on the play. Lawrence Timmons. Kurt Menefee has a game break. Take it away, Curtis.
Emotional day for the Lions in Chicago. They lose quarterback Matthew Stafford. Sean Hill comes in, gets sacked inside the 1 and fumbles. But the Lions defense stopped the Bears 4 straight plays. Detroit holds on to the lead 14-13, trying to get their first road win in 21 games. Dick, Charles, and Jim.
Are the Lions finally coming alive, guys?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, Jim Schwartz doing a great job, and then Ndamukong Suh in there. It's their time.
All right. Second down and 13. Falcons threaten on the 17 of Pittsburgh. Ryan, he's got Roddy White. And White, at about the 13, makes the reception, picking up 5 yards.
Now, can the Steelers defense do what the Falcons defense did on the last drive? A long drive in a position to threaten for a touchdown. They held them to a field goal. Can they do the same thing now?
Yes, they can. This defense is built for this situation right here. Third down and 7. The crowd is into it, the terrible towels.
Third and 8. Roddy White with his 12th catch of the game. Short of the first down, but gets to the 6. Roddy White, who is approaching 100 yards receiving in this game.
Yeah, Ryan, that's his guy right now. If he can't find Gonzalez, it's White.
Look at the strength.
I love the fight there. I love the competitiveness that Roddy White shows there. Early in his career, he didn't have that. Now he does.
And they're going to go for it. Mike Smith will go for it here. Down by 3. 4th and 1.
This says as much about his offense as how he feels about his defense.
And the challenge flag thrown by Mike Tomlin here.
it's going to be about the spot of the football, because I bet he's challenging where Roddy White's knees were down with contact.
Absolutely.
That it would be more than 1 yard.
Way more.
Well, let's see where the ball is, though. Now it's where the ball is when his knee's down. You can challenge a spot, but it's a tough challenge. It's a low percentage challenge.
Now, can you challenge a spot when it does not mean a first down? See, it has to.
Right.
It has to involve a first down.
Okay, and here comes the field goal team.
Clock to 10 seconds.
So here comes the field goal team. Meanwhile, Roddy White with 12 catches for 102 yards, picking up where he's left off the last 3 years.
He's had a tremendous offseason. Mike Mularkey, the offense coordinator, said the best offseason he's ever seen out of a receiver. But I think this is the right move by Mike Smith. They've had trouble running it inside. You've got to take points and you can.
Matt Bryant with a 23-yard attempt, looking to tie the game. And the kick's good. And another tie, 9-9, with 3:24 remaining in regulation. We're tied at 9, 3:24 to go in the fourth. What's interesting here is the last two matchups between these teams both went into overtime. Back in 06, Falcons won 41-38 in Atlanta, but 4 years earlier it ended at a tie here at 34-all. We'll see. Kanan kicking off to Meweldy Moore deep in the end zone, and the Steelers will take it out on the 20. So Dennis Dixon in a tie game going down the stretch. Those are his numbers. Thrown one interception. Now it's not simply enough to not make a mistake, right?
No. Now he's got to make some plays, and as long as that one doesn't turn to a two, we'll probably be okay.
Eric Coleman, who was shaken up, we saw him on the Falcons sideline, is back in the lineup at strong safety. And Christopher Owens is in the game as well, number 21. So the ailing DBs are back. First down at the 20. Here is Rashard Mendenhall. Tough to bring down. Mendenhall gets about 7, and Owens brings him down. Been a field goal battle. The Steelers got the first one on the first drive of the game. Matt Bryant tied it up on the last play of the half. And it's been a great defensive game. Pure and simple. Second down and 3. But we've had some offensive heroics, including several from Hines Ward, who makes the catch and a first down at the 40-yard line, picking up 12 more.
Once again, between the numbers.
Well, I just think it's easier for him to throw the ball at a guy that's moving towards him instead of away from him on the outside cuts. His field of vision doesn't have to be as wide, and that's where he's having his success, in between the numbers, specifically in between the hashes.
Winding down to 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. First down. Dixon completes to Heath Miller. And Miller is put down immediately by Sean Weatherspoon after getting 5 yards. And we will now wind down to the 2-minute warning here. 9-9 the score. And a timeout before the 2-minute warning called by the Steelers. They're first.
Treating this like it's the last drive of the game for them, not even thinking about it, right?
Right.
So if you're Atlanta, the last thing you can do is allow them to milk it down, kick the field goal at the buzzer. So defensively, you're thinking about, hey, how do we aggressively make sure we can get the football back?
No, I like the timeout call there, because he knows that he's going to get another clock stop here for the 2 minutes.
That's why.
Okay, so now he's got second down, all right, and he knows if he doesn't get it here, he's going to get a clock stop on third down. I like it. He's trying to bracket the 2 minute here, buy as much time as he can, because he wants to move this ball methodically down the field with this quarterback. He knows he's not going to get it in chunks.
But if I'm Brian Van Gorder, I'm thinking about how do I disrupt them, because I've got to have the ball back for my offense with some time.
2nd and 5. Here's Dixon in trouble. and down he goes. The last thing they wanted, the big loss. Curtis Lofton came in and finally got Dixon for a loss of 5, and now we're down to the 2-minute warning with 1:57 on the clock, all tied, and we'll be back. We're back, the 2-minute warning. What about that last call, Jim?
Well, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's 2nd and 5. You just called a timeout. All right, before the 2-minute, run the football. The clock's going to stop at the 2-minute anyway. It's 2nd down and 5. You've got a young quarterback trying to manage the game. Now you got a 3rd and long. Well, I don't like it.
Brian Van Gorder loved it because he was bringing pressure on a run blitz.
You think they're
turned into a sack?
Soft here?
3rd down and 14 on the 35. And a 3-man front. Falcons very nearly jumped offside. They got back. And Dixon will go down again. Corey Bierman and a timeout. Coy Bierman on the sack and a timeout immediately called.
Three-man pressure got to him.
Well, I'm just going to go back to the second. That 2nd down call was a tragedy.
Look at Mike Smith getting the timeout. He's saying, well, Mike's upset because he said, I was calling timeout for a while, and Trainer, he's got a hand.
Yes,
Trainer.
yes. If he's like his defensive backs, he'll get back in the game.
But they had dropped everyone 20 yards off the ball, all right, within 20 yards off the ball, so they had plenty of people to cover. They were only rushed 3. Nowhere to go with the ball. Coy Bierman gets to him on the sack, and field position affected greatly. Matt Ryan can't wait to get his hands on the football.
Coy Bierman, of course, always coming off the bench, is a great pass rusher, getting a chance to start here.
2 timeouts left for the Falcons, 2 for the Steelers on defense, but the Falcons more crucial now, taking over the ball.
4th down, Sepulveda will punt, and Eric Weems. Beautiful high kick by Sepulveda, and Weems with the fair catch at the 20. And for a game break, let's go out to Kurt Menefee.
Well, New England led 31-7 over Cincinnati at one point, but Cedric Benson dives in from a yard out. Yeah, they're keeping hope alive in Cincinnati. It's now 38-24, less than 4 minutes left to go in regulation, at least.
All right, thank you, Kurt. And the Bengals making a game out of it, and we have a tie right here. And so here's Matt Ryan with 1:45 to go in a tie game.
With a chance to stamp the greatness that people have anointed on him with this drive here. If he can result in a game-winning field goal or game-winning points, Matty Ice is on his way into 2010.
From the 21, Matty Ice first pass, and it's picked off. Troy Polamalu with the interception, and the Steelers get it at the 30. Welcome back, Troy.
Watch where Polamalu comes from. He looks like he's going to play the half, and he makes a play on the sideline. What a great play by a great player. And Matt Ryan stares him down the whole way. You can't do that to a Pro Bowl player like Troy Polamalu. That's what a great play.
Missed 11 games last year with a sprained knee. And did they miss him? Just look at those numbers.
Review the previous play.
Be a booth review on his feet. This would be, did he get his feet down on the interception? Catch.
I see the drag with the right foot.
The drag. We could have the tap. Catch,
1,
drag,
2.
drag. Certainly.
And does he have control? That's the next issue.
Got the football.
Yep.
That won't be a problem at all on this one. This is going to stay Steelers football.
One hand.
Great disguise by the Steelers defense. They're showing a 2-deep shell and then buzzing underneath that out. And we talked about Matt throwing the out. Matt Ryan having success on the out cut. Troy just went and stole it from him.
So at this stage, 1:40 to go. You see the timeout situation now. Both have 2. But more importantly, the ball is already at the 30-yard line, the plus 30. How many times do you think the Steelers throw the ball here?
They ain't throwing the ball, okay? They're not throwing the ball.
What a first half of a big kickoff weekend opening doubleheader on Fox. Coming up next, it'll be the Packers against the Philadelphia Eagles. Aaron Rodgers, one of the young greats, hopefully against Kevin Cobb.
The defender got both feet inbounds with possession of the ball. First down, Pittsburgh.
To me, that just demonstrates his greatness. Once again, the big-time players.
But that's observing all game long. What route is Matt Ryan favored throwing? The long out from one side of the field to the other. Polamalu watched it the whole game, capitalized it there.
First down on the 30. In a field goal game, a field goal may be all that's needed to win it. Rashard Mendenhall going outside, and Mendenhall fights his way for a gain of about 3.5.
Mendenhall's done a great job getting the tough yards after first contact. As defensive coach, you talk about those leaky yards, those yards after the first hit, and he has done a tremendous job of sliding off of tackles and getting those extra yards. And right now, trying to fight for field goal position, those are critical yards.
And the timeout is called by the Falcons. That is their second timeout, and they have one remaining. Now there is Reed, who has 9 game-winning field goals. Let's go back to the last time these teams played here. An 11-yard run by Michael Vick with 42 seconds left capped a big fourth quarter comeback. And then in overtime, both Todd Peterson and then Jay Feely had field goal attempts blocked. And on the final play of the game, Tommy Maddox connected with Plaxico Burress on a 50-yard Hail Mary, fell 1 yard short. It ended up a 34-34 tie. Second down and 7. Isaac Redmond, the first back through, gets close to the 20-yard line, will be about a yard shy of the first down, and the clock stopping at 1:28. And
30 seconds on it.
Falcons call their third and final timeout. This is the last 3 meetings. Look at all the points in those ties that went into overtime, but today only a measly 18.
Yeah, and I remember this game. I was at that game. That was a shootout. We were fortunate to win it at the end with a Morton Anderson field goal.
I want to go back to the interception thrown by Ryan. Is it on Ryan? Is it a great play made by Polamalu? How would you put it there?
Here's what I'd say. I'd start with number 1, great defensive call by Dick LeBeau, calling a defense that gets the safety out underneath the outcut. Number 2, Troy Polamalu playing the cat and mouse game, showing the 2 deep and then buzzing out there, and then just a great play. I don't think Ryan anticipated him being there.
Third down and 1. And here's Redmond, and he won't get the first down. And Curtis Lofton makes the play. We want to welcome the viewers here to Pittsburgh. Dick Stockton, along with Charles Davis, Jim Mora, 9-9 the score. It has been a sizzling defensive battle as we wind down to a minute. And this was the big play that sets up what we have here.
Big play by a big-time player who missed 11 games last year, but comes back right here and shows his worth.
And I know you talked about Dick LeBeau with the call.
Yeah.
To me, this was Troy Polamalu watching all game long, observing the routes and observing the throws that Matt Ryan had been favoring. We've been talking all game about Matt Ryan throwing that deep out from opposite field and burying it in there. And Polamalu, as you said, cat and moused him and capitalized.
And Troy is known to be a guy that studies film relentlessly. He spends hours and hours in the film room, and he found something and he took advantage of it.
So now Jeff Reed has come on, and with 43 seconds to go, of course the Falcons will get the ball back. But Jeff Reed, who has kicked 3 field goals in 4 tries, will look to put the Steelers in front by 3 with 43 seconds remaining. This will be a 40-yard attempt. Falcons have no timeouts left. The Steelers have 1. this kick is no good, off to the right. And Matt Ryan breathes a sigh of relief.
Snap was fine. He just, you know, he's been playing the wind well all day, aiming it at that left goalpost and bringing it back into the right, and that time he just didn't do it.
That's twice, but that's twice on that end of the field, guys, because Matt Bryant had the same thing happen to him where the ball spun off to the right in the first half and he missed a field goal. Now in this critical juncture, it happens to Jeff Reed. So if you're Matt Ryan now in the Falcons, no timeouts, do you try and get it downfield or do you sit on it and play for overtime?
Well, they're going to try to get it down the field. I think you got to go try to win it.
First down at the 30. They hand it off to Jason Snelling.
That just said overtime.
Well, that did. You know what you do is you run a draw on first down. If you get a chunk, then you go into your no huddle. You go into your hurry up. If they stop you, then they do what you do here. You just let the clock run out. You go flip the coin again. You go to overtime. And you take your chances. 3 overtimes in a row for these two teams.
3 straight games between the Steelers and Falcons going into overtime. 0-2, which ended in a tie at 34. 0-6 with the Falcons won by a field goal in Atlanta. And now we go to overtime here as Jeff Reed misses a 40-yarder with a chance to do it. And so we will have overtime here on kickoff weekend in Pittsburgh as the fourth quarter runs out and we're all even at 9. We will have the coin flip and then go to the break.
Well, if you love hard-nosed, down and dirty, gritty, grimy, power defensive football, which I do, which I absolutely do, then you love this football game. And I'll tell you what, here in Pittsburgh, the Steel City, this is the kind of game they love.
And don't forget, all the talk in the offseason about overtime and the rules being changed. It's different overtime rules for the regular season versus the playoffs.
Right.
We still are in sudden death here, so it's not a matter of both teams getting a touch as they will in the playoffs.
All right, gentlemen, we will play up to 15 minutes of overtime. The first team to score will win. And you each have 2 timeouts. All replay situations will be handled up in the booth. Atlanta, you're the visitor. What's your call on the coin?
Tails.
Tails is the call. It is tails. You've won the toss. And which end zone? You want to kick that way. All right. Atlanta will receive in this end zone.
So the Atlanta Falcons will get the ball, and here's why we're in overtime. Jeff Reed missing a 40-yard field goal with 39 seconds left and saving Matt Ryan to live for another day after he threw that interception. We'll be back with OT.
Kick it off.
And welcome back to Pittsburgh. We're in overtime. Dick Stockton along with Charles Davis, Jim Mora, Laura Oakman down on the sideline. Big day for Roddy White with 12 catches for 102 yards. Matt Ryan, 243 yards with 1 interception. We have not had a touchdown today. Will that decide this game?
Doesn't have to.
Nope. Eric Weems. And Jeff Reed gets the overtime underway. Weems, 1.5 yards in the end zone, returning for the Falcons. And he brings it out to the 24-yard line. And a flag goes down, penalty marker. Thrown at the 20. Ryan Mundy made the play on Weems.
During the return, holding, number 34, the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Obi Mahaley, their starting fullback, trying to help out Eric Weems, and he gets a nice piece.
It's a nice tackle
of Anthony Madison. Advantage Pittsburgh defense with that penalty because of where Atlanta starts, but I still like Matt Ryan getting his hands on the ball because of his short memory with a chance to win the game.
How about this? That was only the 2nd penalty against the Falcons in the game.
Disciplined, well-coached football teams.
First down at the 10. Michael Turner minimal gain. 3 yards they'll give him with 2 tight ends up front. Steelers have dominated the rushing game with Rashard Mendenhall gaining 70 of those 93 yards. On 2nd and 7, pass caught by Roddy White going out of bounds, and the first down for the Falcons as they get it up to the 21 on a 9-yard pickup.
I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about Matt Ryan and his confidence in himself and in Roddy White throwing the ball to the outside. That's not an easy throw. It's a very, very tough throw, but he does it, especially coming off of an interception.
Career high 13 receptions. They go to Turner. And he goes down at the 24 after getting 3.
So we come up with 2nd and 7 again, a repeat of the first series of this drive. I think this is another down that it goes back to Matt Ryan's arm. I don't think they feel like they can grind it out, getting 3 yards of crack and putting it on him. I think they put it on him right here on 2nd and 7.
Short drop by Ryan, looking for a receiver, having trouble finding one, and throws the ball out of bounds. Bringing up 3rd and 7, Lamar Woodley getting into Ryan's face.
You always talk about the heat that gets into Matt Ryan's face, but the coverage allows the heat to get there. Everyone is covered up. They snugged up to all of them.
How often do you see a linebacker cover a wideout the way James Harrison just did?
3rd down and 7. Eric Weems is in the game. Pass going underneath to Jason Snelling. And a flag goes down. Snelling has a first down out to the 32, but a penalty marker. And the Falcons are heading back toward their line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Reliable left tackle Sam Baker nullifies a first down.
His second holding call of the game. James Harrison off the marks again. Right here. Yeah, he's got pretty good grasp up him, doesn't he?
Yeah, just too much speed. Just too much speed when he can get off on the count because of the crowd. It's just too much speed.
3rd and 17. Ryan again off the hands of Jarius Norwood. 4th down, and the Steelers could be looking at good field position here.
Jarius Norwood takes his eyes off of this one, but he has no chance of getting the first down on this check down anyway.
No, but he's going to create field position.
Right, I'm not saying that, this is a great thing, but to me it goes back to what? The hold or the penalty on the kickoff that set them back deep. That put them in the position they're in now.
You are absolutely right. They had to start on the... You're a genius.
It's great to have a genius in the booth. I knew it wasn't me. Anyway, Kanan will kick from the goal line. And Antoine Randall, a short kick. Fair catch by Randall, who gets blocked out of the play. He called for the fair catch and was knocked out by his own player. It was Ryan Mundy, so no penalty here.
No penalty, and they're fortunate that no Steeler ended up touching the football by being blocked into him. See, Mundy hits Randall. It's a good job by the Falcons trying to create that, but a good job by the Steelers also not being there to touch the ball.
Dennis Dixon in a position to win a game starting at midfield, Jim.
Well, yeah, and his defense helping him get there.
Yeah, right.
But you're right. And you know what? I bet you he's feeling mighty confident right now. And they can run the ball right here.
See if Brian Van Gorder mugs the line of scrimmage with his backers.
So they got 8 up. That's
try
for
and
sure.
get him.
Mendenhall.
There he goes.
Mendenhall. First down inside the 30. Mendenhall keeps his footing and scores to win the game.
When you crowd the line of scrimmage, Jim, if there's any type of a crease, look at the block there by David Johnson, and that leads him through. But if you crowd it with 8 or 9 and you get any type of a crease, you can go a long way.
Yeah, and they just kept pounding it and pounding it and pounding it and pounding it, and they finally broke one, and it's a game winner.
50-yard run by Rashard Mendenhall to win the game 15-9, and the Steelers have now won 8 consecutive opening day games, the longest current streak in the league. Hines Ward, who made some huge catches today and was the alter ego for Dennis Dixon. But as Jim Mora and Charles Davis had said, this was a situation where the defense said they had to win it for Dixon, and they helped. Final score 15-9 for Charles Davis, Jim Mora, and Laura Oakman. Dick Stockton saying so long. Stay tuned for the second game of our doubleheader. It'll be the Packers and the Eagles. And coming your way right after these messages.